Welcome to Where to Ski. I'm your host, John Morgan. Today we're headed back to Canada. Let's click on those boards and have some fun checking out Revelstoke. British Columbia's Kootenay Rockies is home to the Powder Highway, some of the most down-home, powder-filled, adventure-packed ski resorts in North America are on this road. The newest is Revelstoke. The town started as a railroad stop for the local mining operation in the late 1800s, and it sits in the snowiest part of the Canadian Rockies, between Calgary and Vancouver, about 300 miles north of Spokane, Washington. Flying into Kelowna is your best bet. From there, it's about 2 hours driving. Calgary's also an option, but it's a bit longer drive. You don't get crowds here since Revi is a hike from those large population centers. Why do skiers make the effort to come here? Well, it's the snow and the terrain and the people. This town holds the Canadian record for the snowiest single winter, over 24 meters of snow. The average is 10.5 meters, about 35 feet. Because of all this snow, there are 4 heli-skiing and 2 cat skiing operations. But we're going to stick to the resort. When you think of Revi, think big. Big terrain, big pitch, big snowfall, and big vertical. The resort has over 3,100 acres of skiable terrain, 75 trails that are served by 4 mostly new lifts. With a base at 1,670 feet and the top over 7,600 feet, they have just over 5,600 feet of vertical. That's the most in North America. It's also 1,000 more than, say, Jackson. Revi is also rather new. It opened in 2007. Its infrastructure hasn't been totally built out yet, but they're working on it. Our guest today is Julie Hamil, one of Revelstoke's long-term instructors and a self-proclaimed powder addict. Julie's been skiing Revi since 2008, but she stayed after a deep powder day at a resort she had all to herself. She loves the terrain, the skiing style, the friendliness of the people, along with just plain skiing, teaching, coaching, and playing there. Let's talk to Julie and find out about Revelstoke and how a run called Kill the Banker skis. Sometimes travel adventures don't play out the way you think. Shit happens on the road. We partnered with Global Rescue for world-class travel protection and travel insurance. Trusted by adventurers worldwide, Global Rescue membership ensures emergency medical evacuations, field rescues, and medical advisory services no matter where your adventure takes you. Paired with IMG travel insurance offered through Global Rescue, you get comprehensive coverage for trip cancellation, medical bills, lost luggage, missed connections, and more, protecting both you and your trip. While Global Rescue keeps you safe in the field, IMG Insurance covers the unexpected costs. Together, they're the ultimate protection for adventure seekers. Whether you're headed to the Vallée Blanche or taking skiing and wildlife in Norway or Alaska, enjoy your experience with peace of mind knowing that Global Rescue has your back. Nobody wants to imagine an emergency on a trip, but when the unexpected does happen, you want the team of medical and security experts at Global Rescue to be there for you. Memberships start as low as $139. Hit the link on our website at wheretoski.org or use code WHERETOSKI, all one word, to find out more. So Julie, welcome to Where to Ski. Revi sounds just amazing. Thank you for joining us today. This is going to be fun.
You're very welcome. Yeah.
Your love for this place. Your love for this place is just infectious. You know, you sent me your bio and I got a chance to talk to you for a minute before we started recording this. And, you know, it just sounds like you totally fell in love with this place on your first trip. Tell me about how you ended up there.
So back then I was teaching at Lake Louise, and one of my buddies showed up after his day off. He's like, "You gotta go there." And I finally, end of the season, my dad comes up from Ottawa, and we had this tradition of he'll pick me up, we'll go ski for a couple of days, and then we drove back home in Ottawa, right? But at this time I was like, "All right, Dad, it's on the must list. It just opened up. We got to go visit Revelstoke." And it was actually the last day of that season that it was open. So we did the trek, got there, and it was like a knee-deep bluebird powder day. Nobody was there. And we had some, back then there was some snow hosts. So it was a snow school, guest service, everybody together. There was 10 people. And my now very good friend, Bo, shows up, and she's like, "Follow me, you and your dad. I'm going to show you what this place is all about." And at that point, we only had the upper part of the gondola as well as the Stoke chair in the front. And there was a little magic carpet for the mid mountain, right? So she just dragged me around, and it was like, who gets a bluebird powder day with nobody on the mountain for an entire day? And it was, I just fell in love. That's it. I looked at my dad. I sent out an email. I'm like, after half a decade of building a business, with my previous job of training and all these different things, I was like, yeah, we're gonna jump in on the ground floor here. This is where to be. So
This is
yeah, I
my
fell in
spot.
love. And my dad was like, yeah, I'm gonna be here every year.
It's nice to be able to find your spot and just fall into it. And sometimes you just know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So when people get to Revelstoke, town's about what, 10 minutes from the mountains, something like that.
Yeah,
When you get
it's
to
super
town,
close.
when you get to town, what's it like? What do you see when you drive in and after a
Most
couple hour drive from say Lake Louise or from, it's a ways out there, but that's okay.
that's the point, that way we leave anybody else who doesn't want to make it. That's fine with us. We're like, if only the ones who really want to make the trek show up, and that's fine. We're about 2.5 hours from the Kelowna airport, 5 hours from Calgary. uh, and then if you're coming in from Banff, you've got to make it past Kicking Horse and Rogers Pass to make it in. So like I said, it's a little bit more, but so you're going to be coming in from the east. You go through Rogers Pass. From the west, you're coming in. You're going to have the Three Valley Gap. So it's very mountainous driving coming in. Stunning scenery. And then the town itself is beautiful, friendly. We're about 8,300 residents. And then plus on top of that, you've got the seasonal workers and the travel tourism, and all of that does come in. Uh, People are friendly, whether you like it or not. We're going to be welcoming and, like shy of the powder day craziness. The rest of the time, we're like, yeah, follow me, come on over. Yeah, you look like you're a little lost here. Let me show you where to go and kind of point in the right direction. So it's surprisingly friendly.
I had a friend who went there, I think it was about 2 years ago, maybe last
Mhm.
year. And
Okay.
he said, I got there too late to ski. So I went to a bar, had a couple of beers. By the time I got out of the bar after a couple of beers, I had a handful of friends. I knew where to ski. I had people to ski with every day. I was by myself.
Yeah,
And he said it was just awesome. It's the friendliest place I've ever been.
yeah. It's stunning, and it's not like it extends generations, and or you'll find somebody who's within your niche and kind of your style, and you just kind of meet up with them. Yeah, lots and lots of good advice. There's the occasional, yeah, there's a lot of joking and laughing and good times had for sure. So everybody's there for the adventure, for a good time, and that local knowledge. Whether it's you've met somebody, or you've been talking to somebody, you've seen different ski lines, or people doing social media. That's one side. If you've got that, you want to do the research, wonderful. If you don't, there's a lot of there's hosts and guides and ski patrollers. People are there more than happy to talk. It's so easy to get lost. Not lost, but uh, it's yeah, like a little, you go on an adventure and then you kind of figure out where you show up later on. So there's just so much adventure to be had. And they say there's 75 runs, but a run can be like an entire bowl or an area. So it's, my goodness, statistically, what were they saying? They're like, uh we've got 31,121 acres of terrain to play in, and tons of bowls and tree areas, and it's such a playground. Whatever your definition of skiing is, it's in there.
That just sounds amazing. And it's served by not very everything I've looked at about it. And this is one of the few places that I haven't been yet. It's on the list. But everything I see about it is you got like four lifts. Well,
Yep,
four
we do.
lifts, you've got so much terrain to work with. The mountain is amazing. It's the biggest mountain in North America, the biggest vertical.
Highest vertical in America, fourth in the world. Our longest run is 9.5 miles. So that thing will go that. that thing will take you as much time as you want. If you're like a green or a blue and you want to do a top to bottom, by all means, have at her. The other ones that are like, I love taking my intermediates to backcountry guys, and we'll go for a Greeley bowl lap, and that oftentimes just takes the whole afternoon, and it's so beautiful exploring back there.
But that's
Um,
okay because you can hang
yeah.
out, you can stop, look around, see what you've got, and then figure out where you're going to make your next turns.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
a lot of the swirl around Revelstoke has been around the advanced skiers going and saying, oh, it's the best powder. It's the deepest powder. Look at you giggle. I
Oh
love
yeah.
that. The, but it's sort of intimidating, and intimidating isn't really good for the intermediate or beginner skiers. And you started talking about that. There's a lot there for those guys.
Oh yeah, it is. It's great. So whether true intermediate skier or you're that hardcore family and there's somebody that's new in the group, it's a great place to start to learn how to level up. Like I said, so even if you do see the free ski world tour and the big extreme stuff, there's always a way around, and there's great area to learn how to do this. There's wonderful snow school, local guides and things that'll they'll help you along, and uh, like we want everybody to have the best time possible. So whether it's like, okay, we're learning how to ski bumps, we're learning how to ski powder, we're upping our game with even with carving, it's great. I would say that the terrain, statistically, the way it's broken down is 12% beginners, 43% intermediate, and then 45% advanced terrain. With that, considering this, there's just so much that you can learn and progress to. Just because, the 20-some-year-old is jumping off a cliff, or, we're 40, we're dropping a chute, there's usually ways around to, for the whole group to come in. Someone's got to take pictures and pick up skis and actually have fun out there as well. There's such a huge playground. It's great.
So the ski company's been has made a pretty big investment in facilities, and it's still sort of a work in progress. Still, there's a lot of plans for that area. Has this made this a lot more accessible for a lot of the other skiers? You've seen a lot over the last. You've been there 20 years now.
Yeah, no, we just, well, not that we just, but our most recent chairlifts or lifts operations is that we moved all of our skis, well, a large chunk of the snow school and the learning area to the top of the mountain. Revelstoke is known for, except for maybe the last quarter at the bottom, the rest is all natural snow. And the higher up you go, the more dependable and beautiful the consistency it is. So we've got the cupcake chair area as well as the learning carpet that's going to be at the top of the gondola, which means that great snow, great grooming. You're close to the outpost, which is if you want to go for lunch or a snack, everything's there. But it's just such a consistent, beautiful terrain that's up there. And just on that little chair, like as a ski instructor, I can teach anybody from I've never skied all the way to a 20-foot drop, doing like intro to off piece and that stuff just on that little piece. So that it's just beautifully consistent with fantastic snow all the time up there. The other bonus is that because we're going to be at elevation at that point, at the bottom in the valley, we've got the river that's there. So oftentimes there's like that river of clouds that covers, the town itself. But at the top, it's either sunshine or we've got the serious clouds, but it's great up there. So go get your vitamin D at the top, and off we go.
Are the let's say the blues groomed, and I assume they're just big, wide open runs there.
Sometimes. No, we every morning I wake up, I've got this routine. I'm a snow nerd. Okay, so I will do everything I can to chase the best snow on the mountain wherever it's in the prime. That's where I'm going. So with the grooming, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go to the Revelstoke website and do look at the grooming report. There are They're not going to groom everything that's called a run. And even if it's called a run, sometimes it's a treat area or it's a bowl or it's something. But the grooming report will actually tell you what was groomed overnight and as well as what time.
Okay. No, you were talking
Middle part,
about
actually, middle part of the mountain is going to be your more intermediate type of terrain with consistent grooming. So we're talking about skiing on the upper part of the gondola.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I I love some of the naming on the trails there.
yeah.
What's that one that drops down into Kill the Banker? That's like it's like Cupcake
Critical
drops
path.
into Kill. I think there's a run
Oh,
from when it's like Cupcake drops into Kill the Banker.
so cupcakes actually are magic carpet at. Sorry, no, the cupcake chair is that learning area I was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we've got Big Ben. But yeah, the kill the banker is it's literally the run underneath the gondola,
Yeah.
most in primarily the upper part of the gondola. Um, it's been made famous. It's definitely challenging, but between that run and so many other areas in the back, like I'm a bigger fan of skiing the upper part of the mountain as well as the bowls and the ripper chair in the back. I'm happy doing an extra lap up there and then taking the gondola down. Like sometimes the gondola, if the grooming is great, it's not too busy, great, off we go and everybody makes it their way down. But hey, if the powder is still fresh up top, or yeah, like there's always a good reason to pick like Revelstoke, you pick and choose your snow, you pick and choose your weather, and I kind of stick with that elevation. A lot of people love to do the top to bottom, and they kind of check it off their list, or they'll check Kill the Banker off their list. Um, you know, I've I'm a little more princessy as far as picking my powder and my turns.
I just like the name. I think it's a great sense of humor up there. The and it's under the lift, so it's like the show off. I figure it's the show off run where people go to take their Instagram videos.
It can be,
Yeah.
but it's so much more fun to go drop a chute and jump a cliff in the back and the big powders and the bowls.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's get into some of the more advanced skiing on that hill. You can go up all over the place. You know, you've got North Bowl, I guess
Yeah,
Greeley Bowl is, but I've heard about, and
yeah.
you can ski that place for a week and really not ski the same thing twice, really, depending on the snow.
20 years, yeah, 20 years there, and there's still some places that I don't know very well. A little bit is I'm busy, but the other part is that it really, so in order to access those back bowls, what happens is that you have to take a walk. Okay. The most challenging one would be from the top of the Stoke chair, and then you would hike straight up. It's about a 20-minute hike at elevation. It'll get you, my goodness, our maximum height inbounds is 7,300 feet. So it's not too prone to altitude sickness, but it's still a good hike at elevation. On the other hand, you can also do a 5-minute diagonal walk across the hill on the lemming line. And for a difference of maybe 20 turns, you end up in the same spots. So that's my go-to. There's a couple of those things where you can either just easy walk across or ski across and you end up in those bowls. So it's a matter of strategy, a matter of whether, what you want to do and how far you want to challenge yourself.
Well, and 20, doing a 15 or 20-minute walk isn't too bad across the hill diagonally. Going uphill, that takes some commitment.
Yeah, it's your treadmaster full on mode with your backpack, and I think the fastest I've seen it was a ski patroller during a Helly Hansen competition years ago, and he made it, I want to say around 10 minutes, but he was like one of those super tall athletic 20-year-olds, and I'm like, good on you.
Yeah, and he was probably running up the hill too.
Oh yeah, it was a race for sure. Last time I was up there, I brought some guests up, and it was like, okay, well, let's go halfway. We'll have some tea, a little bit of a snack, and then we'll go have lunch at the top. And it was one of those beautiful sunny days where you just like, all right, hey, let's go check it out.
Go find a little snow to sit in, take a break, and then we'll finish up. That's perfect.
That's
So
it.
what is it like skiing those bowls up there? Is it a big drop in and then just wide open?
It can be, but it doesn't have to. So the easiest, so Separate reality is kind of like that first bowl, which is left hand, which is going to be left hand side as you're going up the lift.
Yep.
And that one you don't even have to walk or anything. Everybody just kind of drops right in there. The next one's going to be our lower North Bowl. That one, ski to meet the neighbors. Um, it definitely gets tracked out a little bit more, but it's not a drop. You can side slip in anybody. That's pretty straightforward. We've got, my goodness, sweet spot's a little bit more spicy, and then lemming line that gets you over to drop in. That one, same thing, super easy. Everybody, you just kind of walk diagonally 5 minutes, you're there, and you keep following. And that upper lemming line will get you to my goodness, upper North Bowl as well as Grilly Bowl.
You must get really used to those long runs. Those of us that don't ski every day on the biggest mountain in North America will get there. You still got to plan your day out because one run there is equivalent to 2 or 3 runs most other places.
If I'm pushing my day, I can maybe make 12 runs kind of thing. But generally speaking, it's, handful in the morning, handful in the afternoon, around 2:33. If you're not if your legs aren't screaming at you by the time you get to 2:30, 3 o'clock, you've been sitting around too much, or it's a choice.
Okay. How does a mountain ski during the day? Some mountains you ski with the sun so that or without the sun, depending on what the mountain is. But, during some mountains, you'll start off in one area and then work your way across, working with the sun or against it, something like that. Does Revi ski like that?
It's not so much the sun as it is snow, and when the different areas open. We've got a wonderful avalanche control safety department, and if it does snow, anytime it does snow, expect that there are closures. First thing in the morning on the website, it will tell you the approximate time of opening. So depending on how busy the crew is, if they're, how many other things they have to attend to. They're going to be opening, starting off with separate reality, and then we're talking about North Bowl and Greeley may or may not open the day of a snowfall. Sometimes it's the following day after. So if you're hoping to find that powder and everything, check out the website in the morning. It'll tell you, the snow report will tell you how much it snowed, when things are opening, what's groomed. It just gives such great information. Also, it'll tell you the weather, the elevation of that 0 degrees. 0 degrees in Canadian, in
32.
American, I'm not 32.
32.
So it'll tell you the elevation of your 32. And that way, it's a matter of hunting for the best snow on the mountain, not necessarily the best lines, but the best snow and what you want to deal with. Because we have such good snow, it's normal that we get clouds. That's where the snow comes from, right? So I do highly recommend that everybody has one of those super low vis goggles, use that, and then if it's super cloudy, great, head into the trees. If it's not, head the bowls. There are the groomers as well. So there's a lot of things, but hunting for that perfect snow is definitely, I love that. That makes me happy every time.
When they shut the mountain down for snow, I think if it's just dumping, can you still get at the trees? The trees are a lot easier. Usually they're open and they'll shut down the open spots up above, but the trees will be open and they give you some depth perception.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the front side, my goodness, there's like tree sections everywhere. So, oh my goodness, not roller coaster. Tally Ho is a great tree section. What else are going to be? Still Life is great on the front side. On the back side, we've got monkey glades, and oh my god, like either side of the Ripper chair are fantastic glades, and they've gone through there, they've felled a bunch of trees, and it's just beautiful. So the Ripper side is going to be north facing, so it's a little bit lower in elevation, but definitely cooler. So you do get that fluffy snow for sure, and it also opens normally with the rest of the mountain first thing in the morning. So you can go from the top of the gondola and straight over, through the cupcake chair, straight over to the backside. amazing stuff back there. Or you can head over to the front where we're going to have the Stoke chair, and you can ski a little bit higher up. So depending on snow quality and crowds and stuff, you can kind of choose, plan your strategies that way.
You were talking about taking a tour and taking a guide. I think from what I read about the place, they every day at 12:30 they have a sort of a mountain guide thing at the top. Past that, does it really help on your first day or two there, be able to get an instructor or a guide to run you around so that you can find some of the good spots?
So the Mountain Host is a program that we've got some volunteers, lovely folks. They'll invite you, they'll show you, they can kind of point you in the right direction in the morning. Come the afternoon, what they do is that they show you the easiest way to navigate the mountain. So from one lift to another, and the difference between your average intermediate group and your advanced is pretty much the speed of the tour. And you also get to spend time with that local who can kind of talk to you about everything. So they'll point things out. They're not they've got their roles and responsibilities, so they do that very well. When it comes to really wanting to explore and find the stashes, the nooks, the crannies, all that good stuff, the instructors slash guides, like we are instructors, but when it comes to those private groups, or there's a couple of different programs, our job is just to go hunting for good snow and make sure you guys are having the best time. It's a sweet job.
It's not. It doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound like you're there to help people cut lift lines. There's like no lift lines.
I would say on average day, no, but when the snow falls, everybody gets excited, and you've got the guys that are hunting, the snowstorms. You'll find that in town on snow days, there's a lot less business and work happening until about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So there are the occasional 10, 20 centimeter rules for some businesses, which is kind of great because everybody gets super excited. And it's a little bit more local flavor on those mornings. And then in the afternoon, like the place just opens up, and the rest of the bowls open up as the day goes by. So, even if you didn't quite get that sweet, knee deep, all by yourself powder in the morning, later on it's coming.
Do you need to take Abby? I love the fact, before I go there, I love the fact that town will close down based on the amount of snow. That's cool. That's perfect.
It's in a lot of people's work contracts. The clause. It's beautiful.
Do you need to take Abby equipment with you when you go outside there, go up to the ridges and into the bowls?
If you're inbounds, you don't need to. I would say that for safety precautions, maybe have an air tag. Make sure that you've got to find your friends on your phone. That's always useful if things do happen, but there isn't necessarily cell reception everywhere. So just make sure you ski in your group, and just a lot tighter than the traditional resorts where I'll meet you at the bottom of the lift. You just want to be a little bit tighter, skiing as a group together. So that's one way. If you do go out of bounds, so the resort boundaries are they're inspected daily, and they make sure that everything's there. As long as you stay in bounds, we're there to help you for sure. As soon as you go out of bounds, you are officially in, the good Lord's backcountry. We can, like, a lot of people will talk about the, my goodness, backcountry, which is easily accessible off the top of the Stoke chair. Mm-hmm. Wonderful place. But at that point, you need to have you really need to have your AST course and your equipment and your gear and know about it. And beacon probes, transceiver plans. You need to have someone that you're checking in at the end of the day, and it really, things happen so fast, and the sun goes down really early. Tons of professionals and search and rescue and great teams that do wonderful work and help people out. But if you do decide to go backcountry, that's a whole other thing. And it's more than just, if we could push the ropes out, we would have pushed those ropes out. So just make sure that you're prepared and that you have experience. If you don't and you do want to, there's a couple of options that are available. So we do have avalanche skills training courses that are offered through the resort, and that should take you exactly. So you're building that knowledge, and you take a trip. Why not take one of those? It's like everybody's there, wants that same. It's a great thing to do. If you don't want to spend the 2-3 days with the AST course, then you can also hire private or ACMG guides, which is that same level of guide that you would hire to go touring in Rogers Pass, or if you're going heli or cat skiing, it's that level, because they're taking on the responsibility of you and the adventure that's happening out there. So it's a great adventure, great programs. These guys are extremely high in demand. So if that's your plan, you gotta contact, the resort or like Selkirk, or find your guide early in the season who's going to be able to take you out.
So you got to plan ahead a little bit.
The more to show up last minute and to say you can hopefully find a guide or somebody to take you into that type of terrain is, you'd have to really be lucky.
Revi as a town has got, I think, 2 or 3 heli skiing operations and cat operations running out of it. So you could, if you don't want to ski on the mountain, you do have some choices there, but really work with one of the pros. Don't go off on your own. That's just ridiculous. Tell me about Avalanche Ranch.
Oh, Avalanche Ranch is just off of the Cupcake Chair, and you can go in with your probe transceiver, all your gear, and they've got some buried transceivers. So you kind of go in, you flick one on, and you practice. That's the thing with your AST course and going backcountry skiing, is that if you don't use the gear and you don't practice, once you get into any situations, far and few of us know exactly what to do. And whoever I'm going in the backcountry with, I have to build that relationship where I trust that if something happens to me, whether it's a broken binding or whatever, they're going to come and help me. 200, it's normal to ski maybe a couple of 100 feet distance between each other, but do I have the confidence that that person's going to hike up in powder and come and get me, a couple 100 feet, and then vice versa. So it's more than just like, oh, there's great powder, I'm just going to, you really have to prepare yourself. And the Avalanche Ranch is one of those places that gets you to practice and build that trust with your partners and whoever you're going to go out with. The AST courses, they go in there all the time. They'll dig their pits, and it's such an easily accessible place to develop those skills.
Yeah, it sounded pretty cool. I was like, oh, it's a little practice course you can take. You can go, build a little muscle memory on how this stuff all works, so you don't get somewhere and totally panic.
Yeah, exactly. I would be the one who would be like deer in headlights. So that practice obviously helps me out a lot.
What about food on the mountain? There's a couple places, not a lot, but some.
So
what's your favorite stop when you're taking a break? Put it that way.
Favorite stop is going to be top of the gondola. Just because the distance and the time it takes to get a little bit lower. So we've got the outpost that's there, amazing burgers, quick hot chocolate or coffee kind of thing. So that's the top of the mountain. It's very popular. It can be very popular. So oftentimes, we'll be brown bagging it as well. If that is also an option. You show up to the resort in the morning, you put your boots on, you grab your budget backpack, put your lunch in there, and people tend to leave their backpacks at the lift stations or under a tree somewhere, or there are some racks, but you'll see like a lot of backpacks just at the trail maps and at the lifts, and that's just the locals doing their brown bag thing.
That's actually kind of cool. You don't see that very many places.
Yeah.
All right, let's
sorry about that. And then if it is crowded over there, Mid-Mountain Lodge, great cafeteria. You can, they've got some good food, a good pub in there. And at the base of the mountain, La Baguette, as well as Rockford. Like Baguette is probably the nicest bakery where you can pick up great coffee, sandwiches, throw it in your backpack or eat it right down there. I love Baguette is great.
Ah, there you go.
Terrible for my line.
Yeah, you burn those calories off, though. That's okay.
Sure, yeah.
So let's go to town for a minute. Town is, we were talking about this before, really friendly, really friendly. And there's a lot to do down there. If you need to take a day off or if the mountain's just getting dumped on and it's not going to really open much, there's a lot to do down there.
Sorry.
What do you do on your days off around there? Anything fun, exciting that
I love the cross country skiing. There's extra. You can go touring. You can go. You can't. You have to go to see the Grizzlies hockey games. The whole town just shows up on those, and it's a riot. It's kind of multicultural mishmash. So you'll get some chanting. It's such a really cool experience. It's like junior. They're 18, 19-year-old guys are like, and they're just giving her like it's so much fun. So the Grizzly hockey game is great. What else? Lots of bars, restaurants, yoga studios, bowling. It like the towns is my goodness, 8,300 people or so. So it's a full proper town with schools, high schools, medical offices, you name it, it's there. Great shopping as well. Yeah, so if you need amazing snowmobiling as well if that's your thing. But yeah, it's
it
such
hasn't
an
been?
adventurous town.
You said shopping. It hasn't been taken over by the fancy brands yet, has it?
It depends on if you call Arc'teryx fancy brand. Yeah, lots of Arc'teryx around and Orthovox, but we're not. No, we're not talking. We're not talking Gucci or Prada or Cartier or anything
Perfect.
like that.
Perfect. So we're not
Um,
talking Aspen and okay, perfect. I like that.
not quite. No, it's usually your Arc'teryx with a glue-on patch. Generally speaking, in town, you've got your Bloodstones or your winter boots, a pair of jeans, and a puffer jacket and a toque. Like everybody's just, and hair is pulled back in a ponytail, and you got that après-ski glow. That's kind of where we're at.
So I take it the bakery is your favorite place for breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got a really good almond croissant.
What about for dinner down there? I assume there's some place you can get poutine, but past that, there's all sorts of stuff. There's breweries, there's even a distillery, right?
Yep, absolutely. I love Kawakubo. It's got amazing sushi. 112 is a steakhouse across the street. Little bit more public is going to be Village Idiot. So Village Idiot is just you walk into that bar and it's like the whole place is pasted with like ski memorabilia and everything. They also have Monday Night Vidiots, which is basically the local guys. You put a 5 minute video together on whatever it is, and then they'll play the bunch of 5 minute videos and through applause and cheering and whoever is loading up the bar with their best friends, you get you get some restaurant credits, but it's so much fun seeing everybody being so creative and really giving her on the mountains. Like
I figure the
it's
place
so much
rolls
fun to
up
see the
pretty
talent.
early.
Pardon me?
I figure with everyone skiing on that big mountain, by 10 o'clock, town is pretty much dead.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's I'm even before that, but there are a couple of pubs and places to go, and like trivia night or karaoke night or different like pubs or like regular bars and stuff. But I haven't really that hasn't really been my scene in a while.
No, that I get it. I get through with skiing and I'm like food and sleep and do it again.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, let's go to the grocery store, stretch it out a bit, and then, or if I've got like, one of my favorite things lately is if I've got some guests and people coming out, like hire private chef for the night, and they'll just come to your home and cater everything. There's a lot of options and fun stuff that you can, really level up and make it a great holiday.
Well, that's interesting. I hadn't even thought about hiring a chef. My inclination is there's only really one hotel right at the mountain. My inclination would be to stay in town, enjoy the town, and then make the run up to the every day.
Well, it depends. So if you're staying at Sutton Place, which is at the base of the resort, It's really great because everybody can go in and out on their own timeline. So if it's just you, fine being in town and you want to drive up, not a problem. But being at the hotel, they're all condos. So you can go have your lunch in there. If somebody's tired, wants to call quits at, right after lunch, like it just makes it really accessible in that means. But then again, being 10 minutes out of town, 10 minutes into town, there is possibly a difference of price points. And then you're in town for après skiing and all the rest of that. If you do stay up on the resorts or in the like part of the hotel association, we do have a shuttle that runs around town, and you just hop on those. If you're, I forget, it's either $2 or it's part of your hotel membership. Your hotel package, but you just kind of hop in, and those shuttles are just running all the time, anyways. So it's
That's
not a
it.
huge thing.
So
Yeah, everything's really easy.
either way works pretty well. And I assume they get people from town up to the mountain pretty efficiently. No guests, no instructing. What would be your favorite day? I think I have a good idea, but I want to hear it right from you.
Okay. So on a non-powder day, uh, if they do snow rodeo groom top to bottom or top to mid, that like it's such you have to, I guess you kind of have to feel that run where it's just like fresh snowy corduroy on an incredibly steep run that just keeps going and going and going. That snow rodeo is just amazing. And you go from the top of the stoke chair all the way to what we call mid mount or halfway on the gondola. And like, oh, that
Does
it's
that have some
such, you get,
terrain too, so that you're making you? Oh,
yeah.
that's fun.
Oh
I
yeah, it's
love the change in
beautiful
terrain.
rollers and like you go over these cat tracks, and then what you think is steep just gets steeper and steeper, and that gravity just pulls you down. Years ago I've had some friends that were, examiners and pros, and they're like, okay, take us on a good run, and they started off in short rads at the top, and by the time we hit mid, they were like super G'ing, going like, this is another level. I'm like, yeah, it really is. It takes me 2 weeks to get into my ski body when I get there. Like, and I'm just a normal person. So that would be my, like, on a day where we're talking groomers, and then on the on the powder days, I would probably do lemming line. Like wait until that. Well, not time my entrance where I can hit lemming line, head over towards powder assault, and then pretty much powder assault all the way down to the bottom and back on the ripper. I'm happy with that.
You're happy with that. So
I'm happy with that.
you spend a lot of time with guests and with a lot of people that come up there. How do how do you talk about your philosophy about skiing and instruction? You talk, well, like I said, you talk to a lot of people. Your enthusiasm is just infectious.
Thank you.
And I know you've got a perspective about what you really want people to know how you feel about the mountains.
With most people, I aim for top 5 ski days ever, if not top 3 of the year. I'm Yeah, it's if I haven't found where your happy place and you haven't fallen in love with the place, I've dropped the ball. But I find the right mix of terrain, snow conditions. Everybody's just like, wow, this. I love finding myself in a place where it's just me and my guests and nobody else with amazing snow. And generally, everybody's pretty happy about that.
So on the mountain, how do people find you?
So you can either go through the snow school, so Revelstoke Mountain Resort Snow School. Yeah, if you ask for Julie, by all means, they'll find me. Otherwise, I'm very active on Facebook, so Julie Hamil, and the one that's based out of Revelstoke, so you'll see me with the goggles. One of those ways, whether I ski with people or not, I'm just always happy to talk and get more people to come out. And like Revelstoke is such a wildfire. It's contagious. Like everybody finds their happy place here.
Well, I'm coming to visit. We're going to put all those links in the show notes so people can get at them. Julie, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Revelstoke is at least in my mind, top of the list to go to. Again, it's one of the few I haven't been to, and I'm coming. I'd look forward to taking some runs with you. You
Oh,
could
I hope so.
really anywhere on the mountain, pretty much by the sounds of it. All depends what kind of guests she's got that day, but usually up to her waist somewhere in powder. If you like our podcast, share them, subscribe. That helps us out. And our website is wheretoski.org. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free. Stay connected to us. Listen to perspectives, some of the world's best mountains from the legends that live there. Thank you for joining, and thank you to the Grits for the music.